Oluyemi Falegan is a research scientist with extensive clinical research experience gained through exploring the potential of metabolomics and metabolomics for prostate and kidney cancer screening and diagnosis. She is passionate about applying the knowledge of biochemistry to real-life problems such as finding biomarkers that may be clinically useful for early detection of cancer and critical in fetal and maternal health. When she's not doing research, she enjoys managing her family janitorial business where she meets people from different walks of life and helps care for their residential and commercial properties. She's looking to launch a career in research coordination and management where she can leverage the analytical, critical thinking, leadership, teaching, scientific and technical writing skills she has acquired over the years. Hello everyone, my name is Adoniaa, founder of Adoniaa Beauty and the host of the Unmask Your Beauty show. This is the season 3 for the Unmask Your Beauty series, and we have listened to you. You said you wanted more frequent content, and this year, instead of doing like a monthly content, we decided to give you weekly content interviewing Adoniaa women to, take us into their lives and tell us exactly, how they go through life with all the challenges in life and how they live their passion, their purpose and all of that. And, a lot of these women come here to demystify all the concepts, that are giving people issues that people are wondering about. How does she do it? How do all these people do it? We bring in Adoniaa women to share a bit of their nuggets of wisdom here, so you would really enjoy it. Make sure to watch it and make sure to leave a comment. So Yemi, who are you, and tell us a little bit about your background, where you came from, and how that has influenced the woman that you are today.
Okay, thank you again for having me here, and as you already know, my name is Oluyemi Falegan. Originally from Nigeria. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I am a daughter, the only daughter of my mother actually.
Wow.
And I have
love that.
5 brothers, and that makes me a sort of lioness.
Whoa, whoa,
yeah, right. So, in terms of my background, I came from a close-knit family, the only daughter of 6 children. So I've got 5 brothers who look up to me.
Oh my goodness, how was that growing up?
Growing up, I was their second mother.
Okay.
So I think it made me some sort of bully.
Right.
But I learned.
You have to be that way.
Oh, yeah.
To grow up with boys, I know.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, it will be the other way around. They'll bully you.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'd say that was my first experience in leadership, and I am grateful for that experience.
Okay. So how has that, so you've told us about how you were the only girl amongst 6 boys, and you're the first child. So how has that helped you? And it has helped, that was your first experience with leadership. So how has that translated to the woman that you are today? How have you been able to lead in different roles?
So being the first child and also the only daughter, that meant that I had some responsibilities that most children would not typically have. So I had to step in at such times when my mom was not there, and I think that shaped me in such a way that I can take charge. I'm able to take charge at short notice.
Okay.
I don't know if that's always a good thing, but from a very young age, I learned to handle things. Generally, just manage situation, and I'd say that's how that has helped me, and I think it's a plus. It's a plus that I get to have that experience.
Absolutely.
And use it in different areas of my life.
Absolutely. So thank you, Yemi, for telling us a bit about you. So I know you recently completed your PhD program. Tell us a bit about that. What motivated you to go for your PhD, and what exactly are you passionate about? How does your passion fit into what you actually did for your PhD program?
So my background is in biochemistry.
Okay.
And honestly, studying biochemistry, I would say it was more like I didn't have a choice. Aww. If I had a choice, it would not be biochemistry.
Right.
But if I look back now, I'm grateful for it.
Okay.
Looking back, I would have preferred to be a dentist rather than a biochemist. But I'm grateful for where I am, in the sense that it has unleashed it's unleashed a part of me that I did not know existed.
Okay.
And I completed a PhD degree, and the genesis of it all was my father. So my father is an academia himself. He's in the academia himself, and I guess he looked around and he realized none of his sons wanted to like follow in his steps.
Really, six sons?
Yeah, five sons actually.
Oh, five. Okay.
And I guess he just zeroed in on me, and and I also think he had looked at me and thought,
saw the potential.
Yeah, saw the potential in me, and sort of urged me forward and helped me realize what was in me, and helped me take advantage of that.
Okay.
So I would say my dad was the greatest motivating factor that contributed to my embarking on a PhD journey. And I also love school.
I can tell. I see that already. Love school.
So I think it was just a good combination. Had somebody urging me on, and I also love studying.
Okay.
And that made a good mixture.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So tell us. So we have different things this year about unmasking. So I want you to tell us about your story of unmasking self-esteem. How would you say what actually helped you to build a very strong, positive self-esteem of yourself?
So I grew up being very timid and very, very shy.
Is there a reason for that? Or you think it's just a personality?
I don't think it's just a personality. I mentioned that I'm an only daughter of 6 children, and I was very shielded. I was very protected. I had curfews. There were places my mom couldn't send me. My dad was just very particular about protecting me like that.
Okay.
So I ended up being indoors a lot.
Okay.
And up to this point, I enjoy my time indoors. I can be in a house and not step out, and it would not bother me. So that for one, and also my dad he is still a very strict man. Okay. Really strict. And growing up under his roof, had certain rules I had to abide by, and I have to be careful how I say this.
Okay.
He wanted me to unleash certain things that he saw in me. I think that was what it was. And as a young child, I remember him telling me, "Oh, have you seen this person? Have you seen that person? You should be better than them. You should,
Yeah.
I felt that was his way of propelling me to be the best that I can. But at that point, it came back to me as being compared to other people.
I get.
So I was constantly striving to be like these other children, and that dealt with my it had great effect on my self-esteem, because I got to the point where I didn't think I was good enough, because I always had a standard to compare myself to.
Absolutely. And a lot of parents did that, growing up.
Oh yeah.
But that was their own way of, of loving and just helping their kids thrive and
yeah, and get the
and
best.
become, yes,
be the best they can be.
Exactly. It was just their own way. They didn't mean it, you know, in a negative way. But I guess looking back now, you are like, you know what, those were some of the things that affected you.
Oh yeah, it affected me, but then it shaped me as well. Because growing up, that was how I was feeling. I felt, oh, inadequate, this person's better than me.
Yeah.
But then I got to the point where I realized, okay, maybe there is something on the inside that I need to seek out. I need to unravel. Yeah. Maybe there's more to this. Yeah. I mean, if this person can do it, why can't I?
Can do it too. Yeah.
So that went a long way to shape my entire life.
What are some of those tools that really helped you to start viewing yourself in a positive way and to develop that positive self-esteem that you have now? Because a lot of young girls are struggling with that. Even adults are struggling with self-esteem. You know, a lot of people wanting to be validated, wanting to be validated by people because they just feel they're not enough.
Absolutely.
So can you share some stories? Because I know you've shared some stories in the past about, you know, even while you were trying to, you know, finish off your PhD and all, you know, thinking, oh, can you really do it? Can you really? Yeah. So what are some of those things that helped you?
So self-esteem for me was, I mean, where I felt the blow was more in the area of academics, and I just felt for a long time that I was just an average student. For a long time I didn't think I was brilliant. I didn't think I was smart. And one major thing that helped me was having certain strategic good people around me. When I was in A-level school, there was this particular teacher. Everybody thought he was very rough, and he was one of those teachers who would like, oh, sit down there, get out of my class. But he always said this: you can do whatever you put your mind to. You can do it if you would put your mind to it. And to this day, that is my motto in life. I believe nothing is impossible if I would just put my mind to it. If I can think it, then I can do it. So that specific person, I don't know if God just strategically placed him in my life just to upturn the lowliness that I have been feeling up until that point. But he was one strategic person God placed there to help me through. And then again, I came to the self-realization that I'm made for much more than this. I think it was just a Eureka moment that happened again in A-level school. There were 3 of us who were friends, and we're all in A-level school with the intention to write the A-level exams. One of us went off to the US. The second person got admission into University of Ibadan. And I was the last person left. So I had no choice but to write the A-level exam. And at that point, I realized this is a do or do thing. Like, I had to do it, and I had to pass it.
Yeah, it's either you passed or you passed.
I had to pass it. There was no alternative. And I remember my teacher's, Mr. Akin, that was his name, or that is his name. I hope he's still around. I remember Mr. Akin's words that you can do this if you put your mind to it. We had few months left before the exams, and it was just his words that rang in my head. And true to his words, I put all that I had into it. I studied all night, did all the candle burning, and just filled in the gaps. And I passed, to my own surprise. I passed, and I passed well too. So I learned a lesson from that point, that if I would believe in myself, anything is possible. Also, God is the, I see myself as an imperfect child of God. That's how I would qualify myself.
Okay.
And I feel that God feels the first. He feels the first. If there were slots,
Yeah.
God feels the first slot of your life, whether you want Him to or not. It's up to you to recognize that and work with it.
Okay.
So the minute I realized I'm not here by myself, I cannot do this on my own, and I brought God into the picture. His word revealed more of what I had been missing, more of the things that I am that I did not know. And the revelation of those things made it easier for me to believe in myself and for me to overcome low self-esteem. Don't get me wrong, there are still some times I feel inadequate. There are still times when I feel like, can I do this? I still had such a moment yesterday.
And generally, it's work in progress.
Absolutely.
The art of unmasking, or the process of unmasking is work in progress.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
is. You know, you get past a challenge, and then another one comes and you look at the things you've done in the past, and you're like, you know what? If I could do this, then I can do this as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good to know. Thank you for sharing that. So for some of the people that may be watching us today, that are struggling with self-esteem, what are 3 things that you would what are 3 tips that you would share? Now, people are going through negative or low self-esteem. People are going through low self-esteem because it can be anything, because at different stages of life, so what are the 3 tips you can give today to help anyone that might be going through that phase?
If I had the opportunity to speak to anyone about getting through self-esteem and becoming confident, and my first advice or my first offer would be God. I don't know, personally, I don't know how people handle life, how people go through life without the God factor in it. I believe that the journey is halfway gone, like you're halfway through if you have God with you, if you have Him on your side. He made you, He knows who you are, and He's the only one who can affirm anything to you in such a way that you would believe it, in such a way that it would make sense to you. So if the God factor isn't there already, you need to invite Him in, and that's where the process starts. Secondly, affirmation. It works perfectly for me. I've learned to affirm myself even when I don't feel like it. I mean, there are times when you say some things and you don't even believe it yourself. But I just say it anyway. Like, I face a difficult situation and in my head I feel I can't do this. But I don't say that I can't do it. I say to myself that I can do this even though I'm feeling like I can't. So, absolutely, positive affirmation. If you believe it, you can do it. If you believe it, you can be it. That is the second thing I would say. And thirdly, surround yourself with people who see the best in you, not people who would tell you the things you want to hear, but people who actually see the best in you, no matter what you are exhibiting at that point in time. Like this morning, I had a conversation with a friend who I thought, I just know would tell me the truth no matter what, even though she's my friend and she wants me to be happy, but I know she would tell me what I should hear, not what I want to hear. So such people are very important. And when you feel low, they are the ones who would see through whatever it is you're feeling and bring you to the realization of who you actually are. So
wow. So you've touched on different things, and I'm very happy with the tips you gave. The God factor, get God, God is the creator of us all. So
Yeah.
if you want to like be fulfilled, have a good self-esteem, have a positive self-esteem and all, you need to connect to your source, which is God. And then 2, you said affirmations. So positive affirmations, it works all the time. You want to, get yourself already in the place where you want to be, and don't think, despite all the things happening around you, you really know where you're going, and you want to get yourself there by saying positive things and affirming yourself. Also, thirdly, connect yourself and surround yourself with very positive minded people. Not necessarily people that want to tell you what you want to hear, but people that are, very truthful and care about you, understand your vision, and also those 3 tips are really amazing. So I wanted to touch on the 3rd tip. Tell me about relationships. How have your relationships helped you to get to this point? Because at times, I've seen people say, "Oh, my husband is my only friend and is my best friend." So what if you don't have a husband? And what if what if you don't have a husband? 2, what if I have situations where I feel talking to a girlfriend is what I need.
Absolutely.
Not a man.
Absolutely.
If you get what I mean.
I get you.
Yeah, so tell us about the relationships you've had, with women, with men, and let me know how do these relationships help shape the woman that you are today, and also how do you know, like what are the different types of relationship that a woman like you and me need in life? Yeah.
In terms of relationship, I cannot say I have a lot of friends, but I have a couple of friends that I wouldn't know if I'm the one who has talked to them, or they have stuck with me, like they have stayed with me through the years.
Yeah.
And besides this women, definitely my family. I thank God for the family I'm born into and the family I'm married into. God has placed certain people in my path that have helped me through life's journey. First of all, my mom, she's a woman I've learned so much from. Okay. Everybody says her mom is the strongest woman they know, and I can say that of my mother. She, I believe that when I look at her and think she's been through in life and how she's handled life situation, I feel like if I am able to handle life situation half the way she has, I should be good. So she's besides God, she's mostly my run-to person. Okay. She may not tell me what I want to hear, but she would give me a nugget of life that would help me through that situation. Okay. Also, my husband, before I met my husband, I had, I still do have that friend, a childhood friend, and we went through so many things together. We went through different phases of life together, and she is still one person that I hold in high esteem. I haven't seen her in about 4 years now, 5 years actually, going on 6. But the things we talk about and her influences in my life makes it look like I saw her yesterday. So good friends, I would say, good friends, good family. My husband, I always say he's my solid backbone. If I did not have him on my side, I don't know if I would have been able, or if I would have made it through my PhD. He was constantly there. And I have someone I consider a mentor. Okay. She was my pastor's wife at some point, and I don't know, for some reason she took interest in me, and I loved the life she lived. She taught me some vital life lessons. I'd say with all confidence, she's the most patient human being I know.
Wow.
And sometimes I wonder, how can you be so patient? I mean, patient in relationships, patient with God, patient with life issues. And I look at her and I'm like, I don't know how you do this, but I would love to be able to do this too, you know? And when I need to talk to someone, when I'm in a fix and I'm particular about who I want to speak to, at that point I don't go too far. She's my go-to person, because I know she would understand what I'm going through and how to come in.
Thank you, Yemi, for all the nuggets you're giving us about, look up please, about relationships, about building our self-esteem, and about just becoming a better version of us all the time. So what other things do you want to share today? Is there any other thing you would like to share with our viewers? A lot of our viewers are people that are in a stage of life where they are trying to navigate a season of life where they're not sure about what they're passionate about, what their purpose is, even though that word is a big word.
It is.
Yeah, so how would you say you're navigating this season of life, or that you have navigated that season of life of understanding what you should really be doing and going for it? Yeah.
Honestly, I think the word purpose is huge. It's big. And I wouldn't say I've figured it out. Really.
Everybody's figuring
it out. So this is how I see purpose and destiny and what you ought to be doing with your life, and this is how I see it. Does it make you happy?
Absolutely.
I think that's very important. Are you happy? Is it effortless for you? And secondly, does it meet a need? Your need and somebody else's need. Now we're talking financial need, emotional need, and things like that. So choosing a career path wasn't very easy for me. I think I just found myself here. I really can't say I chose, you know, but I'm glad I am where I am. Of course, I've had helpers along the way. I have a little bit of interest in this, and it pays the bills. And then I'm also a great fan of a career does not necessarily mean one thing. It doesn't have to be one thing. You can have one thing that pays the bills, but something else that makes you happy. Something else where you are fulfilling a need, where you're meeting a need. Something else where you feel useful to the world. So you can be multifaceted in that way. Some people are lucky to have that one thing, makes them happy, pays the bills, feeling a need, and you know. But people like us, for example, I am a postdoctoral associate, meaning that I do research in different areas. That's meeting a need. That pays the bills. And makes me happy to a certain point. I love it when I do research and there are results, which I know will translate into fulfilling medical needs for people who would need it in the future or who actually need it now.
Absolutely.
But then again, there's something else I am very passionate about that I can go on for hours doing without feeling like it's work. So merging that world of passion and career together is what makes me a fulfilled woman. So it doesn't have to be that one thing. You don't have to go in search of what's the one thing I can do to fulfill all of this. You can have a couple of different things working together and filling all the gaps for you.
Wow, that's really powerful. That's you talking about your multi-influential flow. Like you can
I didn't
do
even know that's what it's called.
You can do different things and in different. You can do different things in different areas and still meet a need. Meet the need of others, meet the need of yourself, and you necessarily don't have to confine yourself to doing one thing, and that's really big because a lot of women are struggling. They're like, you know what, I really don't like this job, but I can't quit my job because
I need to pay the bills.
Exactly, I need to pay the bills. But then this is something else I think I really love. So what you have taught us today is that we should you know, if you have to continue that job, continue that job. You can always do whatever makes you happy, whether it's for free or whether it's
for pay.
Or whether it's for pay. So whatever makes you happy, make sure you spend time on it. Yeah, not everything that that makes you very happy would necessarily translate
to money.
Into money. Even though I believe that a man's gift will make
way. Absolutely, absolutely.
So generally can be doing things for free, and at some point
convert it. I mean, make it monetary.
And at some point you may not even want to make it monetary, but somebody might just. But yeah, I'll give you a good example. I'm a professional speaker, and I don't do it for money. It's not what I'm interested in. For money, I do it because I believe I can talk, and I'd rather use that talking to speak. Yeah, because as a child I used to go for debates and things like that. Yeah, so I necessarily don't use it for money, but I've made a lot of money speaking. People just call me and, you know, give honorarium, give, you know, so, but it's not necessarily what I plan to be making money off of. But because it's a gift, you know, some people would think, you know what, I'm not going to get this gift for free. And it can even go bigger than that. So
absolutely.
So I really like that we touched on that topic, because we have a lot of career women that are like, they're not really sure this accounting job is their
is their calling.
Is their calling. But and I like the way you broke down the idea of purpose and calling. It's work in progress, and you cannot just, it's not just a thing. I don't even think it's a word. It should be a continuous.
It's an institution.
Exactly. It is an institution, and it should just be something continuous where we're all trying to become. You know, no matter, I know people in their 60s, in their 70s, they're still working towards a dream, trying to become.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's work in progress. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it well, and make sure that you're serving a need. That's really, really important. Not just your need, not just a need to go for a holiday or to make your family comfortable, but a need in the society
that will make a difference.
That will make a difference in the society in your own little way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Thank you so much, Yemi, for all the beautiful nuggets that you've given us today. So, what would you advise somebody that wants to go for like their PhD? What would you advise? Is it an easy route? Anyway, I know nothing is easy.
If anyone tells me they want to pursue a PhD, by all means go for it. I believe if you as much as think it, give it a shot. Let it be written that you tried. If you then find out, oh, this is not for me, that's good enough. At least you pursued it. And then I believe that a PhD is an asset. A lot of people tend to make you believe, oh, can be an asset or a liability. I don't believe in the liability part of things. I feel like that it's added knowledge. You have imparted other lives with your research or with your study, whatever shape it took, and you're a master in something. You are good at something better than anybody else out there. So if you think about it, please do it. It is worth all the pain, all the tears, all the stress, all the hours of study.
Okay, so you mentioned something about, you know, if you think about it, go for it. And if at the end of the day you discover, you know what, this wasn't really what I was supposed to do, this is not really my thing, and then you stop it and go another route. So that's really difficult for people. Like when the whole world knows that you're doing something, say you're doing your PhD, and you're like, you know what, this is not for me, and you quit. The world sees you as a quitter. How do you get out of that feeling of everybody thinking you're a quitter?
Okay. So personally, if I start something, even if it does not make sense to me at the end of the day, I feel like I owe it to myself to finish it.
Okay.
That being said, I spoke to not everybody has that, not everybody feels that way.
Yeah.
I spoke to a friend this morning, and for the first time in the 15 years we've known each other, she told me that she was like, Yemi, do you know I went to nursing school and I quit just one semester to the end?
Oh,
and I was like, what? And I was like, wow, like, why didn't you just finish it? Like, finish it for the sake of it. But then she's a different person. She said she just felt at that point, this is not for me, I'm not continuing in it. So there are certain people like that. And if you are that kind of person, I would say it is you, it is what you think, what you feel, how it, I mean, the side of it that is in your direction that matters, not what somebody else thinks. Obviously, we want to make sure that we are doing it right and not just being heady and being unnecessarily stubborn.
Yeah.
But how it affects you is what matters. So if you feel the right thing, if you think the right thing is to quit, haven't thought it through and consulted God about it, because I mean, he's the author and finisher and he knows the beginning from the end. So if you have come to an agreement with God, I'll say, and you still believe I shouldn't continue in this, it's your call. You have to do you, like they say, do you. But if you're like me, I'd at least see it through and then would figure it out at the end. I used to tell my husband before I finished my PhD, and I said, if I won the lottery today, I'll still complete this PhD. Because money, I feel that money cannot buy me a PhD. If it's something money can buy, then I'll quit and buy it. But money cannot buy me a PhD. I've come this far, I might as well see it through. If it didn't even have the doctor title attached to it, at least I'd love to see my certificate just lying down somewhere there, and I would know, okay, I started this, I finished it.
Okay, that's a good one. That's an interesting one to ask, because I mean, we're all different.
Oh yeah.
You start something, you're like, you know what, this ain't going anywhere.
Nope.
My mind is not even in it. I don't want to, you know. I've quit an online master's before. I'm like, I don't even like these online things. How did I even start? I want to see people physically.
Yeah, I want to be in a class.
And then I quit it. And there are things that I already see the future in it. I'm like, nothing is gonna stop me. So
Absolutely.
I mean, we're all different, but I like that resilience of, you know what, whatever it is, I'm gonna finish it, even if I don't end up using it. But I mean, the most important thing is understanding yourself and checking from time to time. Why am I doing this thing? Very important.
Absolutely.
Why am I doing it? Very important. Yemi, I know you have read all the books.
Not all.
You have read so many books, getting to this point of PhD. I'm sure you've read lots of books. But what there's a debate going on these days about, is education really, well, maybe not education, the school, is it really relevant like these days? Especially when people finish, they've done their undergrad, they even have a master's, no job. And companies like Google saying, you know what, we don't care about your degree, just prove that you can do the job, and they will hire you. So what's the place of education in this day and age, especially formal education? Like we all need to be educated on different things, but formal education, or go to school, get a master's, get a PhD, and all of that. What's the purpose of that in this? What's the relevance of that in this day and age?
I'll speak from my perspective of things.
Absolutely.
In terms of education. I know times have changed and a lot of things have changed with time. And education is one of the things that have evolved over time too, and the relevance of it. But my personal opinion is school is important.
Okay.
But it's important in different levels. Gone are the days when just go to school as long as, this is my opinion though.
Absolutely.
Just go to school as long as you have a certificate, you're good. I believe in the school of thought that don't just go to school. Go to school and study something that would be relevant for the now and for the future. Now that can go in different directions.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'm still very stuck in that old mindset of school is important. And the reason I am stuck is that there are certain things, not just the book of school, but the values that school imputes into you. You cannot buy that on the street, for example. There are certain values that you learn from school. There are certain things being an educated person would impart into you. The education, whatever level, would impart into you that you cannot get from somewhere else. This is my school of thought. I may be wrong, but this is how I say it. I feel like school, no matter how little, is impactful. It is useful. It may not be useful in the way we expect it to be useful in terms of money and making money off of your degree, but I'm a strong believer of give me a rich educated person, give me a rich uneducated person, the difference would show through. The uneducated person may be street smart and make their money based on that, but the difference would still be would just be obvious. And I would rather be an educated rich person than be
an educated poor person.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I think what you're trying to say is education gives you options. And for me, that's what I tell my kids. Like, yes, my son constantly tells me there's a 7-year-old just reviewing toys on YouTube. Makes huge money. Just reviewing toys. All the toy companies send him the latest toys. He reviews them, gets a lot of views and all of that. Good. But I believe that education, just as you were saying, apart. It also it gives you options. So that at the end of the day, you're not just stuck in one thing or stuck stuck doing one thing or stuck thinking in just a certain way. It just gives you different options. For instance, if I decide, what, I am an electrical engineer, I don't want to do this Adoniaa thing again, I want to go back
you have
to engineering option. I have options. Or for instance, I have some IT education. You know what? I want to go into IT. I don't want. It just gives you options and it makes you flexible and dynamic. So that's my 2 cents. So thank you so much for coming on the show today. We really appreciate you, and thank you for sharing all the nuggets of wisdom that you shared with our viewers today. And I hope you guys have learned a thing or two. So if you have any questions or any comments, please drop your comments below or send me an email, or if you want to reach out to Yemi Falegan, please let me know. And how can people reach you, by the way?
You can reach me via email oluyemi85@gmail.com.
Good.
Or you can send me a DM on Instagram.
Nice.
My handle is bargain_slayage. You can reach me that way too.
Okay.
So that's my
perfecto. So guys, that's how to reach out if you have other questions that you want to ask. Until our next video, stay beautiful.